I feel like when this pinnacle weapon came out, it got a lot of criticism and many people weren't really a fan of the perk on it or its design in general. However, after using the Revoker for a good amount of time, I think this sniper is pretty underrated and is definitely one of the best if you like the perk or not. Today we'll be taking a look at the Revoker and doing a bit more of a deeper dive into it and my opinions on it in this review. So to start, as always, let's talk about the archetype of this weapon. Of course, the Revoker is a Pinnacle Sniper Rifle and it follows the aggressive frame archetype. This means it fires at 72 RPM and has 90 impact. It deals 433 crit damage, which is obviously, like all snipers, a one-shot headshot, and 158 damage to the body, which is the highest of any sniper archetype. Of course, we don't really have a time to kill stat for snipers, but what you might be more interested in is the time between shots, and for this sniper being the slowest rate of fire archetype, you have 0.83 seconds between each shot. Moving on to the perks of this weapon, it has two main perks. The first being Snapshot, which gives it the fastest possible ADS or aim down sight speed, and then its unique Pinnacle weapon perk, which is Reversal of Fortune. Missing a shot returns the bullet to the magazine after a short duration. Looking a bit more into this perk and how it works, this perk returns a missed shot roughly 2 seconds after the shot is fired. If you happen to fire a second or third follow-up shot within the 2-second period after the first miss was fired, then the additional follow-up shots will not be refunded. Only the first missed shot that triggered the 2-second period will be refunded. It's also important to mention that reloading within that period of time required to refund a missed shot will cancel out the perk and not refund the bullet. For anyone that might have been trying to mess around with alternate reload options that aren't technically counted as reloads, like Dragon Shadow, it'll actually trigger the perk still, but it won't refund any bullets to the mag or even the reserves or overflow the mag in any way. Now that we've broken down the main perks on this weapon, let's talk about the stats. So firstly, this weapon has 35 zoom with barrel perks, not zoom modifiers or scopes. It's got 34 stability and 72 recoil direction, 98 range and 44 aim assist, 31 handling, 37 reload, and a 3-bullet magazine. If you weren't too impressed with the perk that Revoker has to offer, which seems like many people to be honest, I wouldn't worry much, because I don't actually think that's the main reason to be using this weapon. Revoker is now one of only 2 snipers in the game that have the lowest scope zoom in the game. Previously, the only sniper to have this was the Twilight Oath, which is why I use that sniper so often. And this is because, like the Twilight Oath, it has 35 zoom and barrel perks, not scope options that actually modify the zoom level. Obviously, a lower zoom scope gives it more versatility in the closer ranges, which happen to be a lot of Destiny maps. A lower zoom scope, as much as it doesn't actually change flinch, it makes it feel like flinch is less impactful when you're trying to shoot someone, or at least in my experience it does, so that's another bonus. The range on this weapon is a massive highlight and key point of this weapon. So you might be thinking, wait, why would range matter on a sniper? Snipers are a one-shot kill to the head and don't really suffer from any damage drop-off, so why would range matter? Range is a stat that's responsible for many different things that make up how a weapon feels and how reliable or consistently it performs. This means more forgiving headshots on a regular basis and at further ranges, and more ability to flick to targets and convert on landing those hits or headshots consistently. Range is also tied to aim assist, and as much as the aggressive snipers tend not to have the highest aim assist values, a high range stat like the Revoker has maintains the full strength or capacity of the aim assist for much longer distances than per se a high aim assist sniper like the Twilight Oath that has its aim assist drop off at much closer ranges because it has a very low range stat. Basically, to summarize, the combination of the lowest zoom scope for potential close range versatility with a pretty much maximum range stat to maintain performance at longer ranges is the #1 reason to be using the sniper, and it truly separates it from other snipers in the game. The handling seems to be another hot topic on this weapon that people don't really like about it. I see many people mention how slow or clunky it feels, and in some ways I'm not going to dispute that. The draw and stow speed, so drawing this weapon from another weapon or putting it away or even sprinting and having the weapon come back to that resting position, does feel pretty slow. However, I think this is a small trade-off to deal with in exchange for the benefits that I explained previously. It's also important to mention that the most important factor or element that handling would be responsible for, so the scope in or aim down sight speed, isn't affected because Snapshot covers that already, giving it the fastest ADS speed possible. so this weapon still gets the fastest possible ADS speed with the lowest zoom scope and pretty much maximum range. For this, I think a slow draw or stow speed is something that isn't too bad and you can definitely adjust to it. The reload was a bit on the slower side as well, but wasn't too terrible, especially since you'd often get shots refunded. And the 3-bullet magazine isn't exactly ideal, but not too unusual for the aggressive snipers. And if it's a problem, equip a backup mag and you'll get 4 bullets in the mag if it's too big of an issue for you. So to recap, Reversal of Fortune is a powerful perk that allows you to shoot and react to nearly anything without much penalty at all. The high impact of the aggressive sniper archetype is great and pairs well with most weapons, especially hand cannons. Revoker has the lowest zoom scope in the game and is the only one to have this in the kinetic slot for versatility in close range. But not only that, it has nearly a max range stat for consistent and reliable performance and flicks at longer ranges, even with such a low zoom scope. Revoker does have a low draw or stow speed, but still the fastest ADS speed because of snapshot, which circumvents the most important responsibility of handling. So yeah, I get that the perk Reversal of Fortune isn't exactly the most exciting perk. It doesn't reward precision like many would have maybe wanted, and in fact it covers up misses, which I'm not totally a fan of, but this might be a discussion for another video. My point is that the reasons to use this sniper are definitely still there and is an amazing base sniper, and perhaps aren't so much associated with the perk. And because of the stat package and scope being so unique and so powerful together, I think this warrants it being a great pinnacle weapon. It's definitely deserving of that pinnacle title. Anyways, that's my review and opinions on the Revoker. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're looking to see more content like this, I stream every day on Twitch, twitch.tv/Drewskys. Hopefully I'll see you there, but if not, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.